coffee is for leaders.
I've been in meetings with my dad where he'll say, just skip to the last slide that has the recommendation on it, right? We don't need to go through the whole deck on the why. Let's start with what the solution is and then work our way back. And that's something that I do a lot with my team now as well. I found it really helpful. And what we've realized is, sometimes there's a lot of stuff that we might be preparing for that we don't necessarily need to, and we can jump to the action very quickly.
Somia, thank you so much for coming on the show. It means a lot to have you here. Your journey started in your family's store at just 6 years old. Is that correct?
That's correct.
How did those early experiences shape your perspective on running a business and where you are today?
Yeah, I feel like growing up in a small business, it taught me so much. I remember I was in the store every day after school on the weekends, started dipping strawberries, wrapping arrangements when I was 8 or 9 years old, entirely by choice. I wanted to do it, had a lot of fun doing it, learned a lot about customer service and making sure that the experience we're providing to our guests on the phone and in person is always the best. Yeah, and it really helped me understand what our franchisees go through on a day-to-day basis. So it's really nice when I have the opportunity to speak with them and work with them on their business, because I understand what the store experience and the retail experience is like. But yeah, I'm very fortunate and blessed to have had that opportunity to be in a retail environment from a very young age, and give it a lot of credit for my leadership style and my knowledge today.
Yeah, that is incredible. So give us a sense for what it's like to run a family business. What has this been like?
It's been great. My dad, he's our founder. He was CEO until October of 2024, and handed over the reins to me officially. It's been a great journey for us. We work very well together. We balance each other out. He's a big personality. He's very extroverted. I'm a little more introverted, very methodical in my thinking to his entrepreneurial. It's a nice balance to his entrepreneurial spirit. But yeah, it's been really great. We have a really fantastic team here at Edible. And I think the best part of it for me is I have the opportunity to run something that is greater than just the fruit arrangements business. And the edible arrangements business is what got us to where we are today over the last 25 years. But it's really the growth opportunity in all of the new business units that we're launching that are very exciting for me. And I'm really eager to get to put my stamp on everything from, the roti Mediterranean concept that we just acquired with 17 restaurant locations to the edibles.com business and some of our enterprise business units as well.
Yeah, that's remarkable. So give us a sense for the launch of edibles.com.
We're very excited about it. We launched just a couple months ago in the Texas market. And, it's one of those where for many years, people have joked or I've seen it where someone walks into our store and says, "Do you sell edibles?" So we've been called edible and edible arrangements for so long. We always hear the sentiment out there of, one day they'll get into this business. So it is, even though it's us doing it, we are keeping it as a separate business unit. We've had the edibles.com domain for over a year now and wanted to do something really important and special with it. So hired Thomas Winstanley. He's our EVP GM of the edibles.com business unit. And I told him, hey, look, I want to create a best-in-class wellness marketplace that has really amazing hemp products and allows people to explore the category and the offering and make it all outcome-based, right? So if they want to relax or sleep better or get energy. So he came in, it's been 10 months. He helped identify the brands and the products that we brought on. And we're really excited about, launching in Texas, and then we'll be launching in Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas within the next couple months as well, with same-day delivery along with nationwide shipping with our choose category. So, for us, it was an opportunity as a trusted brand with a really strong infrastructure when it comes to, the retail footprint plus the e-commerce capabilities to take all of that and create a new brand and a new offering and bring it to consumers across the country.
What all goes into the sourcing and finding the right, farmers and all that stuff? Give us a sense for what would even go into something like this.
Yeah. So for us, we're really more focused on the end product. So we are working with brands like Can and Wana and Heirloom, pretty well-known brands in the cannabis industry, to identify the right chews and beverages and bringing them on our platform. So we're not involved in the sourcing down to the grower level. We're more so going out there looking for high quality, trusted brands and products to feature on our platform and tell consumers more about.
That makes sense. Okay. So how are you thinking about things like AI, integrating that in your company, and how is that going to change your industry or not change it at all? It seems like it might, given that you're really a distribution and branding and all of that type of stuff. I just wonder how you're thinking about it.
Yeah, it's a great question. We actually hired a head of analytics last year. He's a genius, already came in and has helped us a ton with figuring out, how do we use AI and machine learning across the business. I think the most important thing for us is that we want to start small, right? So it's using it, figuring out use cases that are easy for us to get into it, that help us create efficiencies or create nice user experiences, and then work our way up from there. So the first thing we did was on the edible arrangements side on edible.com, we launched an AI card message writer. So you can go on the website, and if you're placing an order, it will generate a card message for you. I can't tell you how many times during the holidays I've worked in a store and a customer has called 2 or 3 times to change the card message, especially on Valentine's Day. They'll write a message and then they'll call and say, I think it was too forward. Can I change it? And then we have to reprint the ticket, and then they'll call back and say, hey, I want to make another change to it. So it's a nice, cute little thing that we did. And we see a lot of customers taking advantage of it as well. So it's starting there, but then also getting into cognitive search capabilities, really figuring out, how do we predict what the customer might be looking for based on their browsing habits. We're looking at creating personalized e-commerce experiences. So the homepage or an email that you might see might be different from the email and homepage that I see. So it's a little bit of everything right now. We're also looking at ways to introduce it at the retail level to help our franchisees be more efficient, whether it's with production or product quality. So a little bit all across the business, and just really excited about the opportunity that it creates for us, not just from a revenue standpoint, but also operational efficiencies.
Yeah, that's incredible. What does a typical day look like for you?
Very back to back. So typically I have a 2.5-year-old. So my mornings and my evenings are sacred. And I love that I have a team that understands that, because I spend most of my weekday here. So, my mornings are hectic with my toddler, and then I come in usually, 9:30 to 4:30, a lot of back-to-backs, whether it's one-on-ones or sales meetings. We have so many different business units here. So we're getting to a place where we'll dedicate a day to a specific business unit and work on that. But yeah, a lot of ideating, a lot of strategic planning, but then at the same time, there's real-time conversations happening on, everything from the impact that tariffs might have on our business to what's the promotional plan for Father's Day, which is coming up in a few weeks, right? So it requires me to wear both hats. I have to, be able to put on the strategy hat when needed, but then also the tactical hat as well. And that's something that I'm fortunate enough to have with the rest of my leadership team too.
How do you focus on your own mental health, your own health and well-being? What strategies do you have for other CEOs in that regard?
Great question. I'd love to, I'm always learning, because I feel like, it's one of those things that I'm not as good at it as I would like to be. I think for me, like I mentioned earlier, my mornings and my evenings with my family are sacred to me. I disconnect. My daughter's at a point now where she'll notice if I'm on my phone. So the phones go away. They're not at the dinner table. I don't have my phone when we're doing our bedtime routine. So just that disconnecting from the phone helps so much, right? Because it allows me to be present and in the moment with her. And I've started to practice that a little more on the weekends as well. And then, try to make time to, work out, do, self-care things that are for me, like even if it's as simple as, hey, I'm going to sneak out during lunch and get my nails done, little things like that. And then also trying to practice more meditation and mindfulness. I've recently started doing a 5-minute gratitude journal in the mornings and evenings, which I found to be very helpful and think a little bit more big picture. So even though it may feel like, you're in a rut and you're just going in a routine, it always makes me think about, what brought me joy that day, which I found super helpful for my mental health and well-being.
How have the tariffs affected your company?
Yeah, we're fortunate that we haven't seen a major impact just yet. So we're in a good place right now, but we partner with manufacturers and suppliers all over the globe. Whether it's, the chocolate that's on our dipped strawberries to the containers that the arrangements get built in. So we've been working with our different partners to figure out strategies to minimize the impact. So we're in a really good place today, but it is something that we're constantly looking at and seeing, how does this affect our business? How does it affect our franchisees? And then most important, how is this affecting the end consumer and the people who are buying our products? And luckily, it hasn't been anything too extreme just yet, but something that we've already started to do, just the sentiment out there with consumers. And, when your discretionary income starts to shrink, gifting is one of the things that goes away first. We've shifted very heavily into value messaging and highlighting our gifts under 50 category. You can go on our website and order a box of dipped fruit to get delivered to your house today under $50. Right. So want to make sure that we continue to highlight those offerings so that there's approachable price points and something available for everyone, no matter where they fall.
What have you learned about leadership from your dad or others that kind of has prepared you for your role and what you're doing now?
Yeah. First and foremost, listening. Just being a very active listener. I'll tell you, I think I've learned this from my daughter. Just, like being present with her and listening to her and her, it's just taught me to slow down and actually, digest, everything. So I think listening is just a very important skill to have. I think the other big one, and, I've got learned this, from my dad. And then also I went to Babson College in Massachusetts, super entrepreneurial, they're all about entrepreneurial leadership. Always being solution oriented and solution minded. I've been in meetings with my dad where he'll say, just skip to the last slide that has the recommendation on it, right? We don't need to go through the whole deck on the why. Let's start with what the solution is and then work our way back. And that's something that I do a lot with my team now as well. I found it really helpful. And what we've realized is, sometimes there's a lot of stuff that we might be preparing for that we don't necessarily need to, and we can jump to the action very quickly. So yeah, I'd say that solution-oriented mindset is super important. Active listening is very important. Yeah, those are probably the top two.
Give me a sense for you have brick and mortar and you have an e-commerce, and where do you think all of this is going? I mean, for years, maybe decades at this point, people have been saying, oh, brick and mortar is going to go away. It's all going to be online. Obviously, that's not true and hasn't panned out. But how do you think about the different ways and different strategies of running those two, like an actual physical location and an entirely online?
That's a great question. We really look at them as two separate business units, even though they're very interconnected. I'd say it's the most important thing to realize and understand is it is not the same customer, especially for a business like ours. The customer that is shopping online, it's me sending an edible arrangement to my sister in California for her birthday versus someone who's shopping local and in their neighborhood. They're stopping in for a treat. They're stopping in to grab a housewarming gift on their way to a party. They're stopping in for an after school snack with their kids. So when you realize that the customers are different, it's easy to tailor the messaging accordingly. And I don't think retail is going anywhere, right? We've seen people shift 100% into e-commerce and online shopping during the pandemic. Now you're seeing that wave coming back to retail, but it's coming back in a way where brands are required to have personalized experiences and a reason for someone to walk into your store, right? So we are going through a major revamp on the retail side and introducing edible next gen It's more of a destination. It's a really cool store where you can come in and you can grab a coffee, grab a smoothie. You can build your own dipped fruit box, build your own arrangement, get a quick gift. It's a really nice retail experience that's super inviting, and it allows the customer to shop how they want to. So we've taken that learning of, hey, if we want people to come into our retail stores, there has to be something compelling here that they are drawn to. So really excited about that. We just opened our first next gen store in Connecticut and have another one opening in Atlanta later this year.
Oh, I see. That's cool. What has the response been from like your long-term customers now that you're entering the cannabis industry? I mean, how has everybody been supportive? I know that can kind of be controversial. Maybe not as much actually now. I don't know. But what's the response been?
Yeah, I actually don't think it's been controversial for us at all. One important thing to note is, this is a separate business unit that sits outside of edible arrangements. And then two, we were actually surprised by how positive the response and the sentiment was. I was expecting a little bit of pushback or negativity, but I feel like we, as a consumer base, we're past that, right? I think people are looking for safe and trusted products, and they want to learn more. And this is just encouraging that. So we're really fortunate that we have the platform to do that. And for us, it's so much more than just creating an e-commerce marketplace and platform. It's also focusing on content and education. What are these products? What are the differences between the different blends? What kind of dosage is right for you? So we're really excited to build out the content portion of this as well.
That's great. Finally, we end every interview with the same question, and that is at CEO.com. We believe the chances one gives is just as important as the chances one takes. When you hear that, who gave you a chance to get you to where you are today?
Oh, that's a great question. I'd say, well, look, if you think about it, one is my family, right? I'd say that's probably the biggest one. You don't see a lot of generational transitions in family businesses. So I think, my dad and my family as a whole has entrusted me with this. And I'm really excited to lean into it and build a brand that my dad grew to the next level, to grow it to the next level. I recently did another podcast and I was talking about, if 15-year-old Somia saw where she is today, you should be mind blown. And it just, it's true. So really a lot of credit to my family and my support system for, giving me the chance to really shine and supporting me both personally and professionally.
I love it. Somia, thank you so much for coming on. Seriously, congratulations. What an incredible business. Congratulations on the launch of edibles.com and everything you're doing. We'll have you back on as things continue to grow and develop. And really, what an honor to have you.
Thanks so much for having me, Clint. Really nice to meet you.
Likewise. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.